Hey you guys, Minister Ashley. I'm super excited to share this last installment of the 3-part series of my trip to New Orleans for the 4th annual Christian Witches Convention. If you haven't already, check out the 2 previous episodes in this vlog series. In this video, I will continue to take you around the magical city of New Orleans, the art, the music, and the magic. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Check out my latest book, The Bible's Hidden Divination and Magic, as well as my latest Oracle deck, the I Am That I Am Divine Guidance cards, and my Etsy shop. All links will be listed down below in the description box.
Just like magic, I'm attracted. I get everything I want 'cause I attract.
You guys, this is me in the mirror looking super cute, airport ready. No, I'm just joking. However, I was a little nervous because I hadn't flown on a plane for a number of years, and I used to suffer really bad with panic attacks. One of the rituals that I performed, and it was just last moment ritual, as I reached the threshold, I was walking down the long hallway from the airport, the physical building, onto the plane, and I decided in my mind when I crossed the threshold from that bridgeway onto the plane, I was going to leave my anxiety behind me. And as soon as I crossed that threshold, I left my anxiety behind me. And this is me sitting near the window, looking outside the window. As we experienced turbulence, I felt like I was on a roller coaster ride. I transmuted all of that negative energy and thoughts into a high vibration. I was super proud of myself, and I actually had a really good time on the plane. I sat next to 2 other people that sort of kind of were afraid at first, but we started laughing and giggling. I'm happy I did get a little nap in, because once I arrived in New Orleans, it was go, go, go time. It was going to be super busy for me because I was one of the 4 teachers for the convention, as I was teaching on divination and magic in the Bible. I'm sharing this experience with you guys to show that you can use magic and intention in your daily life. You can use it for anything. It's just a matter of setting an intention and following through with that intention. Here, I have already landed, of course, obviously. I was able to catch a street bus to the main street that our apartment was located on. The hostess of this event and the creator of the Christian Witches Convention is Reverend 𝐾𝐼𝐻𝐿𝐼𝐻, and I have had the opportunity to have her on our podcast on our other channel. So you can check that episode out if you would like to. I will have it listed down in the description box. She booked a luxurious apartment for us. So we had 2 apartments that maybe about 6 of us stayed in, and then it was another 2 apartments. And I didn't see how the other apartment looked, but I'm pretty sure it was swanky. I'm pretty sure it was decked out. This apartment was nice. Another small ritual that I did was filming this video here with the aesthetics and the warmth, the vibe. Everything about this apartment screamed luxury and next level. So by me filming this and really allowing myself to absorb the atmosphere, the warmth, the vibe, this was me exposing myself to the next level. Just staying here and having such a warm, friendly, welcoming environment, not just with the apartment, but also with the people that we shared the space with, that was a ritual within itself. This is my room that I stayed in, and this is the other section with the kitchen. I think a lot of people hear the word ritual or spell and they think that it has to be something very elaborate. But really, in all honesty, we are always performing a ritual. It's just a habit. But here I'm forming a new habit by exposing myself to a new environment and new experiences. Later that night, we did conduct an actual ritual, and it was very powerful and transformative. I got an opportunity to meet some of the other Christian witches that attended the convention but did not stay at the apartments. The opening ritual helped to set the tone for the rest of the convention. After the ritual, we dispersed. Some people went upstairs and others went out or, did other activities. When I went to the rooftop, I actually thought I was going to be up there by myself, but surprise, there were other people up there, and me being an introvert, I sort of kind of wanted to shy away from interacting with other people. However, most of the group went back downstairs, but it was myself and two other ladies, and we ended up talking up there for hours. Come to find out, we have a lot of commonalities, not just personality wise, but astrologically wise. This is the next day, and myself and the lady that was right in front of me with the red shirt, Sweetness, we decided to walk down. The group went ahead of us, and we walked down to the French Quarters are. This was around mid to late May, and the weather was, for me, on point. I really like hot weather, so it didn't bother me that it was really hot down there. You can check out the second video, the second vlog, where we tour a lot of the shops, the hoodoo and voodoo shops. I will have that listed in the description box, as well as a pinned card. This shop's owner is very knowledgeable. He shared a little insight with the similarities with voodoo and church ceremonies. Here I am out. It's some body of water. I'm not sure what this is called exactly, but it's a local photographer that I hooked up with for the second, well, actually, I think it was the first, let me back up. No, the second edition of the Awaken magazine. You can find all the editions of the Awaken magazine, and that will be listed also down in the description box. Here we're walking back to his vehicle, and we run into this guy here. Don't remember his name, but I guess you would call him maybe a street professor. He's sharing some of the untold stories of New Orleans, specifically around slavery and the slave trade. It all ties in with magic and divination and voodoo and hoodoo and the rich magical atmosphere in New Orleans.
Made in charter. This is where they sold more slaves than anywhere in the United States of America. Not only that, all this ironwork. Well, it was the black slaves that got their signature on all the ironwork that was here, because they didn't know how to do no ironwork the way we did ironwork. So they went and got the black slaves and brought the black slaves here, because the black slaves knew how to do ironwork.
This is after my photo shoot, after I have made it back to the apartments. You see the makeup. Did you see that glitter on them cheekbones? Yes, at the shop Sassy Noir. The cashier hooked my makeup up, okay? It really made my makeup pop. Here we are headed out on a little night activity, a little witchy night activity. I can't show you what it is, so you just have to attend the next Christian Witches convention to find out what we did. This is the next day. I decided to walk to the store. The weather out there is just immaculate. Everywhere you turn, there's hand-painted art. Like, there's a lot of art. This is a park that was right down the street from the apartment that we were staying. I really adore these trees. I wanted to come and take a nap out on the grass. However, we stayed so busy that I hadn't had the opportunity to do so. You see, when I put my hand on the tree, that is me connecting to the energies and the spirits of New Orleans in that specific area. The apartment complex that we stayed at did not have the rooftop pool, so I had to walk maybe about a block to their sister apartment complex. And this is the view. A beautiful sunny day, just looking over the city. This is me taking a couple photos and videos to post on the gram. So if you are not following me on my Instagram account as well as my TikTok account, go and do so. This was very relaxing. If you don't know, I have children, so every time that I've went swimming over the past, gosh, maybe 5 years, I've had children with me. So to be able to just relax, enjoy the sun, enjoy the water, it was golden. A ritual that is overlooked is relaxation, allowing yourself to just rest your body and your mind. Me filming things in nature. I enjoy trees. Some consider trees to be ancestors. The richness of the culture in New Orleans, the beauty of the land in which the roots are rooted in. And when you touch a tree, you absorb that knowledge. Here we have our costume party, and the theme was Harry Potter, because she stayed in character the entire night. Now we're headed out to the nightlife. Okay, me and some of the girls, we went out. You know, I hadn't been out in such a long time, and this was another ritual here. I love dancing. Dancing is therapy. It is intention. It's all things. It's always been those things for me, and even more. So when we had the opportunity to go out in a new area, and I could stay out as long as I want to, you know, being a mom, I took advantage of that. So first of all, it took us like about 2 hours just to find this location. I forgot what it's called, but it's Aleister Crowley's old house, but they converted it into a nightclub. So we finally made it to this nightclub. There's three levels to this nightclub. We started off at the first level and we went to the top. I think it's two levels, but this is the second level. And I just danced to myself. The atmosphere, everybody, the energy was good. It was good. This is us Sunday morning after the ritual, after the ceremony, which I did wake up late for because I was tired. Because the previous day, before we were dismissed and before the party, we had classes. So I had to present, and there were 2 others that presented as well, and not to mention Reverend Love. So it was already a long day, and I overslept, but however, I got what was due for me. I got my nourishment. Now this is another park that one of the girls told us about, and it was about 4 of us. It was 4 of us that went to this park. This park was pretty sizable. Several entrances, ponds. It was beautiful. Bridges, ponds. When I go to places like this, I like to take off my shoes. Now this duck, she is funny. We figured out that she is a female, and later you will see that she decided to come and hang out with the women, hang out with the girls. In my book, I talk about spirit animals and how there's various forms of divination using animals, and you can even find this in the Bible, from birds, ants, and a myriad of other creatures. You see, she's following us. Although we ran out of food, she's just following us. I found the other girls over here. They're just sitting down. I've already kicked off my shoes and I was walking around barefooted. We sat here for about 30 to 40 minutes, just chit-chatting, putting our feet in the water. And we seen this weird bird. We still do not know what type of bird that bird is. I don't know. Comment down below if you know what type of bird this is. But lo and behold, our female duck friend, she ends up coming, finding her way back to us. Here she is, hanging with the girls. There's a small waterfall not too far up from where we were sitting. The sound of the waterfall, the warm breeze, our feet in the water, just chilling, relaxing. It was so calming. I felt so revitalized when I got up from sitting here. This next part, I'm not exactly sure how I feel about it. In a way, it's a little creepy, but in a way, I know how this is a powerful ritual. So you see all of these hair ties and hair bows. The lady explains this. Children of this light between. Do you know why they leave the hair bows?
We just looked it up. So it said because it's believed that she was a hairdresser at one point.
Oh yeah.
And it's meant to be left as an offering.
So I
In the
will.
hope that she grants you a wish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
This is her house?
if you didn't know, this is the house of the famous Marie Laveau. I started to work with Marie Laveau with one of the candles from The Conjure. I have a review about the candle. You can check that video out on my channel. But I find her to be a powerful divine feminine archetype, especially with hair and head working. In my latest book, The Bible's Hidden Divination and Magic, I talk about head working with one of the biblical divine feminines. One thing about New Orleans, besides its magic, is its music.
I said let her go, God bless her. Wherever she may be, we've been traced this whole world. You'll never find a man like me. When I die, I want my dad to bury me in a box-back coat, in a Stetson hat, with a $20 gold piece on my watch chain.
Giving offerings to those that it is due to is another energetic exchange. They gave us high vibrational music that tickled our ears and cheered our spirits. So, energetic exchange of money, the currency of love and appreciation, is another ritual. To our surprise, there was a gathering, another musical gathering, this time with a group of drummers. The group was diverse between the dancers and the drummers. The energy was full of stories from our ancestors, the ancestors of this area, but also the Latina ancestors, the indigenous ancestors, and our African ancestors. People from all nationalities, colors, backgrounds joined together to drum. Remember, the drum tells a story. And move together, some in unison and some being a free-flowing energy, allowing the spirit of the drums to speak. As we moved, one of the locals was sharing with me that this group meets every Sunday in the park, and they all come to drum and dance, forming a strong community of love, peace, and harmony. Big shout out to a fellow Christian witch, Sweetness, for being my camera woman. This is me back on the plane, headed to Florida for a 24-hour layover. I did not realize that I had a layover. I was so busy and so distracted with making sure I did not miss any flights that I didn't realize that. However, it worked out in my favor. Not only did I get an extra day of a rest and relaxation and going to another state to absorb that energy, but I made a little friend. Here he is. He is so cute. With my 24 hours, I took a nap. I felt so refreshed. I went outside and I caught the bus to, it's some association with the Disney, it's some Disney park. I do not recall the name of it, but it's a free park, mainly for shopping. But I spent the day out there and it was pretty relaxing. A lot of water, waterfalls, nice people, good food, good entertainment. And as you can see, my little squirrely friend kept me company. Let me tell you, the power of stepping out on faith, stepping out of your comfort zone is life-changing. Here I am flying back to Newport News, Virginia, sitting next to the window when just days before I was trembling on the verge of another panic attack. The best way to overcome fear is to face it head on. Whether you are strategic or you do like how I did, I just crossed from one reality, mind state, over a threshold to a whole new me. I had to get this last video out before heading back to New Orleans for the 5th annual Christian Witches Convention. Make sure that you do follow me on my socials because I will be posting behind the scene clips from this 2025 Christian Witches Convention. It is going to be epic. And I want to take you guys along for the ride.